So I wasn't originally sure on how to present this, as it's just like an hour or so of grinding, getting the amount of money, or leftover money we need to get the 3 remaining upgrades. Originally I thought of just skipping over the whole grind, maybe even showing like a little bit of it just to show you how exactly I did it, and then starting off the what would essentially be a finale by getting the 3 remaining upgrades. But then I kind of thought, hey, the finale is going to be chock full of achievements already, so how about I just make it its own episode where I speed up montage it, sort of thing. And so yeah, there's gonna be like a point where it's like, oh, my thinking pattern here kind of changed a little bit. But yeah, the first part is just basically me triple checking just to make sure I did absolutely get every single resource. It turns out I didn't, I actually missed one. I have yet to edit the next episode, which would be weird if I edited that episode before this one. But you'll see. But then it kind of moves into hunting down enemies with the Cog mod bounty, and I forget it exactly, but the one that will give you a small bit, I think it's Hobo's Fortune. The small bit, like a bit of extra cash if it is, or if the resource itself is under $7 worth. Doing that in the mindset of using the bounty for the main source of revenue, but then also hoping for enemy drops that will give you a big boost to your money in the long run. In fact, I want to say that not a lot of this was funded by killing enemies directly, but more so leftover resources and enemy drops, like that sort of thing. That's where the money is. Although I am kind of regretting not getting the final backpack upgrade much sooner, just to get a little bit of bonus. Also, I think for this one I will kind of be retiring the cash count, because it's not really gonna be needed, and plus that was only to get, or to mark the progress up to the 10k, which I want to say definitively there is no dialogue for hitting 10k specifically, which kind of feels weird. Although that being said, I want to say that Barnacle will get a dialogue change in the fact that once you're at the point of the progress I'm at here, he'll mark on Sam, he'll just say, hey, the world's ending, but if you still want to give me stuff, I'll pay for it. Like that sort of thing. But yeah, although something I didn't notice, or didn't pick up until much later on, the premium spot and the premium method of getting money is going down to Yarrow, specifically around the point of the first collapsible wall, and going into that cave there. I want to say it's Leaky Lodge, which houses a lot of snails, and profits will drop the blood rock, which is the most valuable resource they can get from enemies. And just grinding them over and over again will probably set you up a lot. So that is something to note. Although, what I ended up doing was going down through Achaia first, and then either going to the Temple of the Destroyer or Yarrow. Eventually, once I clocked on that Yarrow was much more valuable in in that aspect, I just went back to Yarrow. And plus, I wanted to note that, well, something I also picked up on that, apparently after a close and restart of the game, it will be much more generous with enemy spawning, I want to say. Because I did divide this up into 2 sessions, one at the end of the previous recording session, and one that I kind of procrastinated on just a little bit, because I didn't really I just didn't really know when to do this, because like, I wanted to record what would be the next episode, but I wasn't really sure how I would go about recording this part. So yeah, but if I knew at the time that it would only take like an extra 40 minutes on top of the 30 I did, then I probably would have just sat through it. Although that being said, for the first 30 I listened to music, where in the second 40 I just watched Sugar Conroy's Let's Play of Paper Mario, which definitely need to catch up on. Although, something I've been really wanting to talk about for the longest time, just hasn't crossed my mind during a recording session, is the fact that I'm not sure what it is, but YouTube's algorithm, specifically that of suggesting videos on the main page, has been overturned, like overclocked somewhat, because like before I could easily lose a video that I wanted to watch by refreshing the page, but like even going to my subscriptions. But now even if I go over to my subscriptions and come back to the homepage, it would still give me the same videos. Like, I'm fairly sure it's not even changed, it's just like the same thing. And I would have to refresh the page to get new suggestions. Which I would be fine in doing, but I'm not sure what exactly has happened, but it just kind of seems that YouTube's kind of gone, hey, you like watching this sort of stuff, so let's only give you this sort of stuff. It's like, I mean, I've already watched this stuff beforehand, and I mean, I don't really want to, like, I just don't really want to watch more, because like, I like this person because they do this specific thing. I don't really want to watch other people do that specific thing, like that sort of thing. It's like, why are you giving me this? It's really weird. I just can't find the new-ish good content that's still kind of in my realm of interest sort of thing. Because like, yes, I know the new to you thing is a thing, but it's sort of like, that's just kind of random bullshit sometimes. It's like, I don't really want to watch that. Although that being said, I first noticed this on mobile, because like, when looking on my homepage on my phone, it's like, oh, like that's sort of the same videos over and over again. Where I was on desktop for a time, I could still get new videos, but I don't know what happened, but they just changed it, so it's like, oh, same thing. Really hoping that they change that, because it is sort of annoying, and at the moment I've kind of delved into watching more Netflix shows just to get entertainment rather than staying and watching YouTube. Which I don't know why. Although that being said, I have started watching Iron Man Armored Adventures, and it's kind of an odd show. Because it's sort of like, how do we take the Iron Man concept and make it somewhat PG in a way? And this definitely feels weird because, like, I've got the, when I think of Iron Man, I kind of think of MCU Iron Man, and just seeing anything different just kind of feels weird. Like, how they show or go about showing how Tony gets his arc reactor in his chest. A little bit weird, because it's like, you can't really start off a series with a teenager going and getting kidnapped by terrorists. But instead what they do is they just say that they get into a plane accident, and just so happens that before that he made the Iron Man armor, and he survived the plane crash by getting into his Iron Man armor. Kind of weird. And just the whole fact that up until that point his father was alive. Also, I originally thought that it was just going to be based on Iron Man. No other no other heroes were gonna be in it. No. Soon enough they introduced SHIELD, and then not too long after that they introduced the Hulk, which kind of feels weird. And looking ahead to what one of the episodes is named, kind of get the feeling they're gonna be introducing Spider-Man, which just feels weird in its own thing, but I don't know. I think overall it's pretty cool, like, alright. There's like sometimes where the CGI looks decent, and other times it just looks wonky. It's like, why? And I'm not entirely, like, I'm not well versed in the comics sort of sense, but just the fact that Happy is sort of like a jock, like a dumb jock, it's like, why? Although that being said, the only thing I would say is sort of wrong about the show is the fact that the voice for MODOK is extremely grating and annoying, and I hope they don't bring him back. Although that being said, kinda hoping that they don't, sort of thing. But yeah, completely forget if I touched on this, but I want to say that the only enemy that is somewhat limited in the amount you can appear, are the Prophets, and I want to say that the only place you can get a limited amount of them, or unlimited amount of them, is going through Grim Hollow, although why would you go through Grim Hollow over and over again when you can just go through and do Leaky Lodging just over and over again? I'm not entirely sure why, but yeah, it is a thing you can do. Also, I'm not entirely sure if I want to leave it in this episode or kind of let next episode deal with it, because I have recorded next episode. But in between now and then, I do kind of set up my cog mods for the final battle. I'm not entirely sure if I want to leave it in here or not. I'll just kind of think about it. Although that being said, doing the outro while I go over my kit probably might be good. I don't know. And like, yeah, here I noticed that there's something in like around the entrance to the Oasis. I don't touch on it in this because I wanted to leave it for a in the moment the commentary sort of thing. Although that being said, I definitely need to. It will 100% depend on how I feel about editing the finale. But yeah, now is kind of when I realized, hey, Yarrow and its snails is kind of the way to go. So from here on out is mainly going to be Yarrow. Although that being said, I wonder if you could just completely just go around in a giant circle of just the Licky lodging. Because I'm fairly sure that the cave is completely refreshed upon doing that. Although I could be wrong. Definitely will need to check that factor out. But yeah, thank God for Sky Assailant making this just a little bit easier. Also, something I wanted to touch on that I probably won't get the chance to elsewhere. But the maximum player level is level 20. But there's no real reason to do so outside of getting past level 14, as that is when you get the achievement max potential. You can kind of see why they made it so there's a little bit of extra breathing room, especially since level 14 is when you unlock the last lot of upgrades. But just the fact you can go up until 20 is a little bit weird, sort of thing. Yeah. But yeah. No, there's like a little bit left, but it's something I will kind of like. I don't really get the chance to touch on is the fact that I've been replaying Mario Sunshine in my spare time, because I am totally that bitch, and up until recently I've kind of been struggling to find a game to just play through, because I kind of didn't want to get into a new game or like into like a big game close to the fact I need to move soon. But I do have a little bit of extra time on that, so that's good. But I was still like, I kind of want to play another game other than Splatoon, and like, tabletop is fun and all, but there's only so much tabletop I can do. Although that being said, at the moment of recording this, I am 4 rivals off doing or completing tabletop in entirety at the moment. Aside from getting the gold badge for collecting cards. If it's 150, I'm still around 10 cards off. And I'm kind of debating on whether or not I want to just leave it up to chance or what exactly. But yeah, I just really hope that in a future update they do add cards to Heartlanders, because like, it took me till like very recently to get the 1 mil Heartlanders badge. Kind of feels weird. Also, yeah, now we finally have enough money for the final upgrade. And really wishing I didn't save the pickaxe for last, because I'm gonna have like find a way to split up 2 achievements because we did just get 2 achievements at once. Definitely gonna need to worry about that. But that's editing Ulti's job, not mine. But yeah, as I kind of just go over just deciding on what I want for the somewhat finale, or the finale of the initial initial playthrough. This episode I spent an hour and a bit grinding money for some upgrades we aren't really gonna be getting a good use of, or the right amount of use out of. But next episode, we finish this. Just gonna leave it at that. We just finished this. But until then, that is when I'll see you.